Hello, welcome back. This channel is mostly about matters of faith, religious deconstruction mostly, but sometimes that takes the form of looking at other topics that are close. Side effects not only of deconstruction, but of politics. Not just who you vote for, but family politics, church politics, politics of relationships, all of which can be equally mysterious. So the topic today is estrangement, and the whole thing can make you feel betrayed, as if your car has run out of gas in the middle of nowhere and you've lost your bearings. You don't know where you are or what you're supposed to do next. People you've loved all your life suddenly don't love you anymore, and if it turns out to be a long-term situation, it could bring a sadness into your life that never leaves entirely. And even side effects have side effects, because you're left to think about other relationships, which you've always thought of as rock solid. What if you are just one wrong word or one wrong action away from those going south too? This is important, and it's worth thinking about. Americans are becoming lonelier, a problem that has grown in the past couple of decades. 15% of men report having no close friends at all. We men keep things bottled up. We've fallen for the myth of the strong, silent type, the myth that we can do it all on our own, and we don't need anybody. Thus, we're conditioned from an early age to repress our emotions. Women seem to be free to express their feelings, but I suspect that girls and women are equally good at bottling up their feelings. They have just learned to bottle up different ones. Excess use of social media seems to have had, with some irony, made us less social. We often spend time with each other by looking at our phones together. We may be in the same room, but we're still locked in our own private worlds. Movies, TV, even the advertising industry have reinforced this idea, convincing us that everyone is having a better time, living a better life than we are. And all this is fertile soil for estrangement to grow in. So estrangement, when people used to care about you suddenly cut you out of their lives, affects 1 out of 4 of us in this country, and is becoming increasingly more common. I know people who suffer that peculiar kind of heartache, that ache's always in the background, that you ponder in painful silence. I identify because I am one of those people. I have friends who value different things in life, vote differently than I do, with whom I don't see eye to eye on any number of topics. But we have decided that our friendships are more important than the things that divide us. People who have suddenly cut you out of their lives, well, they don't think like that. It's often politics today, sometimes it's personal issues, and yes, sometimes it's over matters of faith. That should never be, yet it is. Sometimes the people you remove from your lives are in your own family. I've been estranged from my daughter for over 2 years, and at this point I suspect it's permanent. So yes, I know something about this pain. We're in a society in the midst of cultural changes, social media being only one of them. Generational differences have always been with us, but parents and even their adult children can grow apart, and close family ties suffer from that. Divorce has not been uncommon for years, and it leaves a mark on our children's lives. Anxiety and depression have been on the rise, affecting adolescents more than ever before. Bad advice, wrapped in therapeutic language, does that as well. Religion, which should help with all this, often contributes to the problem with harsh and rigid and unrealistic expectations about how people are supposed to behave. But if you don't behave that way, not out of any ill will or stubbornness, you just aren't wired that way. And the next thing you know, you're that purplish marble hovering in the middle of all the other red marbles. You're isolated. You aren't trying to be different, not trying to put people off. You just are who you are. One of the fallacies in some religions is that we are all born blank slates to be written on. The truth is, there are already things written on our slates. Mozart wrote his first symphony at age 8. Stevie Wonder, born blind and in poverty, was a skilled musician by the age of 12. Judith Polgar, a Hungarian, became a grandmaster of chess by the age of 15. Children already have directions they're going in at birth. Parents sometimes fail to recognize their child's natural needs to separate from them and become who they are, which in and of itself is a healthy and natural thing. But becoming who you are meant to be, that may occur at any ages. It is not our business to make other people like we are. There's nothing more arrogant than viewing others as people who would be way better off if only they were more like you. But this isn't just about me or even you. It's about all of us. It's about being human. Life has plenty of if only moments in it. If only I'd said this and not that. If only I'd done this one thing instead of the other. Regret, sorrow. Our lives are full of disappointments, yet we find the strength to carry on. We don't give up. We accept that's the way time works. It goes forward. We can't change the past. We can't live in a future that doesn't exist yet. We've only got today. The words you speak today. The actions you take today. If you're estranged from someone who you used to care about, someone who used to care about you, I have an observation, not an answer, but an observation. The time that has passed since my own experience has given me some perspective. There's a rule that covers everything from life to Bible study, and I think it applies to estrangement as well. It's this. It's not about what it seems to be about. And that is the level that often accounts for our behavior. Changes like these, serious things, are likely the result of a number of little incidents happening over a longer stretch of time that reach some sort of tipping point and become the straw that breaks the camel's back. Maybe there was, and what in the world of fiction is called the inciting incident, but there's always something else going on backstage. I find it hard to believe that people just throw away others so casually. There's some thought put into it. And you may never understand what those thoughts are. Because they aren't your thoughts. Because you didn't live their lives and you saw your relationship only from your end. In terms of religious deconstruction, whether you're on some stage of doing that thing or you know you're heading in that direction, you are sometimes called upon to do the hard thing, the thing that will cause you some anxiety, some discomfort. Becoming who God wants you to be rather than what other people want you to be is a fulfilling adventure. But that path has its uncomfortable moments at times, that's for sure. Now, estrangement is an aspect of deconstruction you may never have to deal with. And if that's the case, well, good for you. But if I don't mention it, I'm doing you a disservice. John reports Jesus as saying, "By this, all people will know that you are my disciples." If you have love for one another, not by what doctrines you follow, not by how many Bible verses you can quote, but how clearly others can see the love in you. And if you haven't found that place yet, well, maybe you'll be one of the people that make that place. Just don't forget that that's the whole point of being in this faith. To care about people who may not really care about you. I saw someone in therapy after my own incident just twice, and she told me she didn't think I needed to see her anymore. Not in a, you're cured, your problems are over kind of way, but more of a, you're clueless, you're an idiot, nobody can help you kind of way. And sadly, I have to admit that she might have had a point. But life, I discovered, is funny that way. Situations that leave me with more questions than answers are, in the long run, more helpful than a quick answer ever would have been. I've learned more about myself and my relationship with the world around me than I ever would have otherwise. I suspect I'm not alone in that. Things that you learn the hard way are the things that tend to stick with you. Human nature is incredibly complex. And if yours is, then you have to allow others to have their own incredibly complex natures. And so it goes. No easy answers, no 12-step programs. Just this ongoing nature of being a human being. Okay. That's it for today. God bless you for being here. This is Les from Springfield, and I will see you next time.